Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Dadscap. Welcome to Market Pulse, your weekly recap into the CS2 economy. Let's kick things off by looking at the player count, and whoa, what a turnaround from last week's dip. The player base is up by over 3%, reversing the downward trend and showing that people are sticking around even after the major, at least right now. The market cap also picked up some steam, no pun intended, by growing almost 2% this week and reclaiming the $5 billion mark. We're also less than 1% away from the previous all-time high. Go check the pinned comment to see whether or not we managed to breach it yet. But if we take a look at the 301 index though, we can see that liquids absolutely cooked the market cap, growing by 3.34% and almost doubling the entire market's rate of growth. Good week for average skin owners, but also for broke skin owners, since as we can see, the low tier index also posted a solid gain of 2.5%. The mid tiers managed to bounce back from last week's loss and pretty much made everything back, with a gain of 1.77%. As for the high tiers, well, they kinda threw as always, with an almost non-existent gain of not even 0.5% to show. Yikes! Moving on to the knives and gloves index, and what a comeback story for gloves, who, after getting absolutely hammered last week, losing almost 4% of their value, managed to shoot back up 3% this week. The extra cosmetics are once again pretty quiet, a trend that's been going on for a few weeks now, so let's move on. And finally, for the cases index, well, they remain pretty flat, with older cases even seeing a slight dip. The market pulse this week is high on hopium. The bearish sentiment from last week is mostly gone. I can't help but feel uneasy when I see cases stagnant for almost 3 weeks straight, but with another all-time high on the horizon, one not driven by degenerate invest bling with factory new gloves by the way, it's undeniable that the market is now on much more solid ground and set to continue price exploration past the previous all-time high. Welcome to Case Crackdown, where we break down the happenings in the case market over the past week, and this week, just under 7.5 million cases were open, a slight decrease from last week's 7.7 million cases, of which 48% were active cases, 36% were purchasable, and 16% were rare or discontinued. The number one purchasable case was the Fever case yet again, with over 2.1 million opened, with its unboxings numbers continuing to increase, up over 28% since last week alone. Experts are still unable to explain why this case seems insensitive to gravity itself. At the top of the active cases, we have the Dreams and Nightmares case, but it's showing a pretty big decline, with unboxings down almost 15% week over week. The number one rare drop was the Snakebite case, with almost 187,000 getting open, a massive increase of 22% from its weekly average. This case is getting inhaled. The most liquid case was hey yo, the GOAT is back! The Fracture case, the absolute GOAT, reclaims the title of the most unwanted case in the game with almost 400,000 market listings, although it's showing a pretty solid 7.7% increase in its unboxings numbers. We missed you, buddy.
3, 2, 1.
The case with the most potential is the Recall case, with its price up almost 20% in the last month. This active case, is showing some serious momentum. We'll see if it managed to hold up. And as for the biggest crash out, we have the Chroma case dropping over 6% in value this week. I guess Dopplers really are going through their own 1929 The Great Crash Out. And as for the Dadscap's pick of the week, I've decided to go with the Snakebite case because the value is too good to now reiterate over and over and over again. It's a rare drop holding gloves with unboxings on the rise, and at only 64 cents, you'd probably have to be regarded for thinking this is not a good investment. I hope you're enjoying the recap so far. It would make my entire week if you could just give it a like before the end, and why not subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already. This is the juice that keeps me going. Thank you. Welcome to winners and losers, starting off as usual with the cases winners, and it's no surprise to see the Recall case and Snakebite case at the top, but as you can see, these gains are very muted compared to just last month, which could mean trouble is brewing just under the surface. And for the losers, yeah, yikes! Apart from the GOAT sitting in between the two, the Chroma and glove cases used to be pretty consistent winners week over week. Seeing them in losers now could be an indication that top tier gloves and Doppler knives may actually be overpriced. Wow, shocker. Moving on to the Play Skins winners, and surprisingly, this week was taken over by the newest skins on the block, aka the skins from the Armory update back in April. The AK-47 Winter Green and Up Green Energy from the Boreal collection saw a surge of 33% and 11% respectively, and the AK-47 Searing Rage from the Fever case also posted a solid gain of 23%. And as for the losers, well, there aren't many. The biggest drop was the AK-47 Frontside Misty, a winner from last week, haha, Rebozo. but just down 2.32%, which just goes to show how insanely well the skins market, shout out the 3-1 index by the way, performed this week. Onto the knives winners, and it looks like the classic knife is having a moment, with 2 of its variations in the top 3 and posting over 10% gain. When these kinds of knives, aka forest didipat and urban mask type of knives, are the biggest winners in a week, you couldn't get a more obvious signal that the most good looking knives have become literally unaffordable to the majority of players. And for the losers, well, we can see the first dominoes starting to fall. The Huntsman knife Gamma Doppler, Bowie knife Crimson Web, and Talon knife Sapphire all took pretty nasty hits of just about 10% when combined. And finally, the gloves winners, we saw an impressive performance from driver gloves out of the Clutch and Revolution cases, both posting a gain of approximately 15% each. I would say props to the Clutch and Revolution case if it weren't for the disgusting performance sport gloves out of these cases had this week. Especially the Omega, literally Omega Luling, the poor bastard who thought he was getting a deal buying them just on the market price just last week before seeing 15% of the value evaporate right before his eyes. No bro, it's not a prank. I'm sorry. Welcome to ROI Radar, where we're looking for a money printer hidden in the armory or the in-game store, starting off with the Halo capsule with an odds profit of 27%, an unboxing ROI of 84%, and an expected value of 83 cents, so a 16 cents loss. The best item is the Incineration Hollow at $4 flat. Next up is the Enfu capsule with an odds profit of 21%, an unboxing ROI of 87%, and an expected value of 83 cents, or a 13 cents loss. The best item is the Unicorn Hollow at $3.05. And there's no shot the brand new but dog shit Warhammer 40k Adapters capsule is the best capsule in the in-game store this week. A capsule with only blue stickers has also profit of 32%, an unboxing ROI of 114%, and an expected value of $1.13, so a 14 cents gain? No shot, this is bait, don't fall for it. However, the best item was the Iron Halo, good one, at $8.91. Moving on to the armory, the third best collection was the Sport and Field collection with an odds profit of 5%, an unboxing ROI of 96%, and an expected value of $1.54, so a 6 cents loss. The best item was the M41S Fade at $603. Next up is the Elemental Craft Stickers collection with an odds profit of 20%, an unboxing ROI of 103%, and an expected value of 41 cents, so a 1 cent gain, poggers. The best item was the Ruby Wave at $10.61. And no, the video is not over, I know it feels weird, but finally the best collection in the armory are the Missing Link charms with an odds profit of 17%, an unboxing ROI of 110%, and an expected value of $1.32, so a 12 cents gain. The best item was the Hot Howl at $60.31. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in a few days. Peace!